Okay, so um, we are now free of the gas station jigsaw puzzle that I was trapped in. Apparently I have to turn left here. We do have gas. I'm thankful for that. Wait a minute. I think we are going in the wrong direction. We'll just turn in, I guess we'll turn in here on the front right here and just zip around this part. Actually, it's a question of who has more room. I think nothing of doing a K-turn right in the middle of the freaking road. That was a lot easier than I expected. I definitely expected for either a car to hit me or for me to hit some kind of solid object. But now we're moving. Hopefully we are moving in the right direction. The sleep light is on, but I want at least to push it until 4 p.m. before I hit another rest stop. I'm going to see if I can get away with that. I'm somewhat suspicious that I won't, but we're going to find out. I ate my chicken parm, what was left of it. I went down to Wawa. I got myself a cup of coffee and a cookie. I took a walk. I feel fully capable of finishing this journey. I haven't been in Oklahoma. Actually, we're in New Mexico now. I haven't been in Oklahoma probably for 24 years. So it's going to be nice to visit it virtually. This cab has real bad visibility. I hate it when I get trucks with like virtually no visibility. Yeah, I just watched another episode of I was down in the garage doing my eBay listings. By the way, you should be able to find a link to my eBay store down in the description if I remember to put it in there. But I was watching another episode of Gordon Ramsay's Kitchen Nightmares. And, you know, probably like one episode I thought was exceptionally horrible was where the father opened the burger joint. He got like an inheritance of $250,000, so he took that money and bought a burger joint. Then he took his son's inheritance of $250,000 and put it into this burger joint, and it was like failing. I thought that was very bad and gross. The father ended up having a heart attack a couple years later. I guess the karma got back and hit him. But then there was like another one where this guy left his house to go get a haircut, told his wife he's getting a haircut, then go buys a restaurant, and she's like, for 14 years, I've been working 7 days a week. And that was pretty foul. She's like, I have no life because of this place and I hate it. But what topped it was the one I just saw where this guy's got 7 kids, aged 17 and up. They all live at home. They work at the restaurant. The father does not pay them. And apparently, what happened was, according to the show, I talked to some people, there's no such thing as reality. There's no such thing as reality TV. It's all scripted, but apparently these kids went to Gordon Ramsay's hotel and they got a hold of him and they're like, you gotta get us out of a situation. Our father has been making us work for free. And, he makes us work 7 days a week. He doesn't pay us. And you gotta get us free of this situation. And Gordon Ramsay goes to the father and says, this ain't right. These kids deserve to have like a life. And the father's like, well, I give them a place to live. I don't have to pay them. And like, you look at the comments, people are like saying exactly what I was thinking. That's exactly what slavery is. You give people a free place to live and you don't pay them and make them work every day. But, they essentially told him, like, listen, we're going to fix this restaurant, and then after we fix it, you're going to hire people. Apparently I'm at critical exhaustion here. And we're going to have to pull off, I guess, to the left here. I assume there's going to be an exit coming up. Go to that rest stop. We're going to find out if there's... Maybe it's just a left-hand turn. I don't know. I don't think it's probably a left-hand turn. Yeah, because I see the road right there. For a second. Yep. Yeah, that was pretty foul, that episode I saw. A lot of these episodes are really like Gordon Ramsay's Kitchen Nightmares are like soap operas. But when you go to these restaurants and you buy food, there's apparently like a backstory to every single one of these places. Like it seems like a lot of these people, I don't think Gordon Ramsay can really help them, because when the restaurant is like circling the drain and about to go out of business, it's like a given that their tax situation, they probably haven't been paying their federal taxes, state taxes. Of course, if you're not making any money, how much taxes do you really owe? I don't know. I guess something, or maybe they're just not filing because they have no money to pay their account. And I saw this other one too. These two brothers, they're twins, and same story. A lot of these things have like the similar theme with the food, that they're overly using the microwave. They don't really know how to cook, and they're using a microwave for pretty much everything. That's a thrift store. And apparently they're able, that was a success story. They kept that place open a few years, and they're able to sell it with no debts. And they seem like really nice guys. For once, I seen one where the owner wasn't a complete jerk. I really think I pushed the sleep situation as far as you can push it. Yeah, no kidding. here. Is that the way that works? Yep. And Alicia's still, I think the truck's off. I hate driving at nighttime. According to this, we probably won't be getting to Oklahoma until probably 6 in the morning. Probably would have made sense is like right when I get right out of the gate, I probably should have stopped in a rest area. This way I would have been like all mostly night driving. I wonder if I could disable the whole sleep thing. I mean, why do I need it, you know? It's not like a bit of realism that I really need. I'm gonna definitely look into that. Cheap goods, pawn shop. Looks like a nice bar. Delicatessen. Guy looks like he's waiting around for something. Got my arrow there. A lot going on in this intersection for freaking midnight. Or almost 1 in the morning. I mean, who are they kidding? Probably when I telework tomorrow, I'm gonna have the what do you call it? The developers channel up for this game and see what they. I never actually watched the full developer stream. It's on the we call it the Steam thing. When you go on the ATS store page, they have the recorded stream up there, and the developers are basically showing you like the new stuff that they're working on. If you missed it before, I just got the Kansas, Oklahoma DLC. Probably should have changed the music. I think I was telling you that I'm just basically going to drop all my music into that freaking thing. Rather than have a bunch of different playlists. Is this a stop or what? By the way, I am a military veteran. I will appreciate it if you subscribe to my channel. 20-year military veteran, 1997 to 2017, both in the Army and the Air Force combined. I would also appreciate it if you click on my eBay link and see what I have to offer. I make and sell jewelry, biker rings, military rings. I also have other people make stuff for me. I also buy stuff and have it refurbished. You know, if I make absolutely no money off this YouTube channel, I don't really care because of the organic advertising. I'm not particularly creative with organic advertising. You know, people say, you know, go on Pinterest. I've tried different stuff. Go on Pinterest. I never really got the hang of that. Facebook advertising, TikTok advertising. I've done all kinds of stuff. Actually, I do have a ring. I just posted it for 800 bucks for auction. It's an 8-carat ring. I should really do a TikTok video on it. Like, maybe put like 10 bucks on the advertising. See if that does anything for me. Once again, we're stuck in traffic. It's hard to believe New Mexico could be this crowded at 1:30 on a Friday night. They could do so much better with this GPS, so much better. It's like if you asked a 13-year-old or a 12-year-old to design a GPS. No, let me revise that. 11-year-old. If you told an 11-year-old to like design a GPS system for a video game, it would look exactly like this. Hopefully a train's not going to hit me. I could easily get gas, I just don't feel like it. I think we got enough for 5 hours. I did actually, at a previous game, I think I ran out of gas within like 5 real minutes from the delivery drop-off. I mean, you should have to get gas. That's a realistic part of this, but I think I want to turn off the rest thing, only because if I want to drive at night, I'll drive at night. If I want to drive in the daytime, I'll drive in the daytime. I don't like the computer dictating like which time of day I want to drive, especially since they don't tell you like on the initial menu. Graphics are getting choppy again. Oh yeah, there's like another Gordon Ramsay thing where like the place is like run like a shambles, and Gordon Ramsay asked one of the waiters, you know, how come the son is only here? The guy that runs the place, how come he's only there like, you know, a couple hours like every day? And they're like, well, he's like, you know, what's he got, like a girlfriend, or is it a drug habit or something? And the waiter's like, no, he's addicted to playing video games. Gordon's like, really? He's like, yeah, but he's like, I bet you he's even thinking about it like right now. I guarantee he's thinking about it right now. like how cars have radars now. A couple years ago, and somebody, well, I don't know if the rear, if it has a rear radar. A couple years ago, I was at a red light, and there was like an SUV in front of me, and the chick, she just basically threw the thing in reverse and nailed the front of my car. And what was more amazing is that she actually admitted to it, although she didn't speak perfect English. I'm sure her husband's like, you know, somebody hits you from behind, you don't admit that it's your fault. You blame it all on them, because she could have easily just said, I drove into the back of her, and the cops would have been forced to believe her, but the police were able to get her to admit that it was her fault. And the whole front end of my car was repaired. Although it's got a big dent in it now because it was like at some parking spot during Christmas, and somebody backed into my freaking car, and I got like a big dent in the front left side. I'm opting not to fix it. I mean, USA. I mean, I got like what do you call it, collision. But USAA is like, you know, we'll just keep the claim open for a couple of years. He says that they're like literally like a year and a half from now, you can say you want to fix the damage, and we'll keep the claim open. So maybe after like another person hits the front of my car, I'll probably go ahead and get that fixed. Actually, around this time next year, I'll probably be getting another car. I'm gonna be looking at like a 2023 Challenger. It's kind of what I'm interested in getting. What the heck is that? If you heard me say this before, you can just ignore it. But I actually told the developer I want like a paranormal pack to this, where every once in 1,000 hours I want to see like a UFO fly across the screen, or like a apparition walking on the side of the road, or a ghost car. Not all the time, but you know, well, actually you could probably just, if you buy like a $3 whatever for it, like a $3 add-on, they should let you put like the frequency on there. I mean, I imagine like after you first buy it, you want to see what it is right off the bat, but be able to turn it down so it's like a lot more infrequent. I don't think the people in these cars look realistic enough. But I'll tell you what, it's impressive that because one thing I noticed is that there was a guy in the car next to me, and he was turning left, and I could see the turn signal flashing inside the car, like in the interior. That was impressive to me. We're in Amarillo, Texas. Teleworking tomorrow. I didn't even know what work to do. You know what? I do have a conference call at 1 p.m. I seem to recall that. Although I find this game kind of casual, I can't really... It's hard for me to check my phone and drive at the same time. I think in real life it's probably easier to even look at your phone while you're driving an 18-wheeler. But the red lights are nice to check so I can check my phone. Or get a drink of water from my water bottle, which I'm going to do right now. Come on, man. This is BS. Albuquerque? Is that where I'm going? Yeah, I was saying before, I think on the first video, that I do want to go to Dallas, Texas on my eventual road trip, but one thing I remember being in Texas is how freaking great the steaks were. When I went to my 7-level upgrade training, we went to a steakhouse and I ate a steak so big it was like my whole body just like shut down. couldn't even move an hour later. I just wanted to sleep. Best feeling in the world. Yeah, my 7-level upgrade training at Shepherd's Air Force Base, Texas. That was a real hoot. I wonder what those signs say, but I can't really read them either. We got a trailer down there. This looks like the lane is ending. I think that's what it's trying to tell me. Because I went to 2R071 school for management analysis. And it was a pretty hard school. But it was all reservists. We went to the reserve version of it, not the active duty one. And it was basically all statistics. Just like the 3-level school was. And they taught us how to do all these statistical tests using Microsoft Excel. And don't ask me what they are now, but when you took after the 2 weeks, they gave you the final test. I mean, there was studying involved and practicing. I took it extremely seriously. Extremely seriously. But I studied. But the last day we had to take a test. Basically, they just give you a whole bunch of raw data, and you had to do multiple statistical tests based upon what the data told you. You moved on to the next statistical test. There was a chart that we had to follow. It was like a map. You do this test, you get this result. You do this test next. And when I was in a 3-level school, I had a problem with these frequency distribution tables, and I nearly failed the 3-level school because of it. And I'm not gonna say it's my fault. I'm gonna tell you, I'm in complete denial as to it being my fault, because the 2 practice sets of data they gave us for the frequency distribution table, one had a negative number in it, which skewed the data, and another one had a 0 in it, which also skewed the data. So you really couldn't see how the table worked. As a matter of fact, when my supervisor went down there, she failed the same test twice, but passed the 3rd time. Supposedly, if you fail 3 times, they hold you back. But when that guy saw me for the 7-level thing, he was like, "Oh," he's like, "I think I know you have a lot of problems with statistics." But really, it was just that one. It was really just that one course. I think we were making a right here for some reason. I don't know why we're making this right. But I studied and I took it seriously. As the 3-level thing, I studied and took that seriously too. I mean, I studied for that stupid thing. Because your military career hung in the balance. But we had one guy that didn't study. So when we took that test, it was about, I don't know, if you knew what you were doing, it would take 3 to 4 hours. And they would stop you halfway through and go, "Okay, where are you at? What are you doing? What test are you on? How's the data looking?" And most of us did fine, but there was the one guy that didn't study. They took him out in the hallway and they started yelling at him because he made practically no progress at all. None, 0. And another my stuff, said you did great, and we basically sat there and looked at each other, except for that one guy. Finally, they're like, listen, this guy's going to need more time, but we're just going to give you your certificates now, and you know, you can go out, process whatever, pack up, do what you need to do. And I had like a rental car. I went and splurged on a rental car, so me and a couple of the guys, we drove around and took care of business. I think we had to go to like 5 or 6 places to get sorted out. And we came back. We did all that. We had lunch. We did all that. We got lunch. And I said, you know, for the heck of it, let's drive by the schoolhouse and see if that guy's still there. We drove by. Sure enough, his truck was still sitting there. This was like a few hours later. Still don't know what happened. My supervisor told me before I left, he says, as long as you seem like you are putting forth an effort, you will pass, even if you have to be there till midnight. And my guess is that guy was there until midnight. And you know, we were just like reservists, but that guy was like an active duty AGR, so that school was like, it meant real money to him. So it was perplexing to me why he didn't take it more seriously. Very perplexing indeed. But luckily I don't have that kind of pressure in my life anymore. Without getting hit by a car. Does he let me in? He looks like he's letting me in. If I'd started my life all over again, I think I'd prefer to be a Texas Ranger. I wonder if they get paid well. Every state should have a Rangers. Well, Texas, you got the police, the state police, and the Rangers, and you got the sheriff's office. So I guess there's only so many redundant police agencies that you need. I wonder if we're in Oklahoma. I'll talk about timing. We were just basically crossing the border. Lawton's like right ahead. I didn't realize Lawton was this close to Texas. Like from the west. Because when I drove to Lawton, I drove north from Wichita Falls. I mean, I don't know how Lawton is now. I guess I'll find out when I go back eventually, but like I noticed, like when I was in Fort Sill in the mid-90s, like when you go to like the base exchange, you see people like all dressed up. Like they're not like wearing suits and ties, but it's like you would think they're going to like, you think they're going out clubbing or something, but really they're just going to the base exchange. It's like you could tell like there was nothing to do in that town. Although, luckily I didn't have this habit at the time. But a lot of people I was in Army Advanced Individual Training with, they would basically spend their entire check at the strip club. As soon as they got paid, they spent all the money the next day. I guess the place is depressing, and you know, you got to do what you got to do to not be depressed. But to me, it just seemed like probably a extraordinarily bad habit I should stay away from. That, and it had to be illegal. I mean, one would think you'd have to be 21 to get in there. I mean, if they had alcohol, I mean, I don't know how they bent the rules. Maybe they didn't serve alcohol. They just had naked women. Luckily, I never found out, so I saved all the money I made from that and bought a car. A very nice looking, this may seem like an extreme paradox, but it was a very beautiful, horribly running car. It was a 1990 Dodge Daytona. And I think I had a problem with that car pretty much every week. I mean, the transmission went on me like the first 30 days. But the guy that had the car previous to me had the transmission like under warranty. So we were able to get like a replacement transmission, which was a junkyard transmission. He replaced it with a junkyard transmission. The junkyard tranny lasted like about 30 days, had a 30-day warranty. So my mechanic was able to get another junkyard transmission, and I think that one lasted probably about a year. And then I think I paid $1,500 for a transmission rebuild, and I think it was fine for like another year. And my parents were like so fed up with me borrowing their car. Every time it broke down, they co-signed on a Chevy Malibu, which was a decent running car. Up until the point I got rid of it. It was like stalling like crazy when I got rid of it. Usually I only get rid of cars until they come up with like unfixable problems. My Camaro is like up to 200,000 right now, but I think I'd like to get rid of it before the transmission goes. Now my neighbor has like a truck. I forget what kind, but he bought it new. And transmission went at 35,000 miles. But now it's like up to 300,000 miles. And he hasn't had a problem with the transmission yet. Man, look at the clock here. According to this, we're 15 minutes from delivery, which in real time is probably like 3 minutes. And the sleep light is on again. And gas is like at looks like less than a quarter of a tank. So we're probably going to make it. tell you what, that's an easy turn to miss. Holy moly. This must be like the outskirts of Lawton. How'd we do? Entrepreneur. Okay, thank you for watching this episode of American Truck Simulator.